We are now just 38 days away from the official release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker by Disney, Lucasfilm, George Lucas, and even JJ, that is all set and ready to reshape the entire Star Wars franchise when it comes to the Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one aspect of Episode 9 that a lot of fans are really looking forward to is exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to handle the characters of Rey, Kylo Ren, Palpatine, that entire dynamic of the three characters interacting with each other, and to see exactly how this film is going to compare to The Force Awakens. Now, recently J.J. Abrams has been answering a lot of questions to the fans. A lot of fans have been asking questions, about the movie to J.J. A lot of media outlets out there online have been reaching out to J.J. Abrams, where he's actually talking about the film every single day during this month of November. And what's really intriguing about J.J. Abrams, what he had to say just yesterday, is actually very interesting, because he compares The Rise of Skywalker to The Force Awakens in different ways, and even goes over what he wanted to do. So this is exactly what J.J. Abrams had to say in one of the interviews. Now, he states, "On this one, I let myself be, at least in the way I was approaching the thing, freer. In Episode 7, I was adhering to a kind of approach that felt right for Star Wars in my head. It was about finding a visual language, like shooting on locations and doing practical things as much as possible. And we continue that in Episode 9. But I also found myself doing things that I'm not sure I would have been doing and would have been as daring to do in Episode 7. Rian Johnson helped me, and that's why we are on these movies. Not just to do something that you've actually seen before," Abrams said. "I won't say that I felt constrained or limited on 7, but I found myself wanting to do something that felt more consistent with the original trilogy than not, and on 9, I found myself feeling like I'm just gonna go for it a bit more." So let's go over a couple of parts about this and exactly what this really means. Now, in this interview, J.J. Abrams essentially states that he's comparing The Rise of Skywalker to The Force Awakens, where in this film, he was daring to make more similarities to the original trilogy than how he did in, of course, The Force Awakens. And you know what? You can really see exactly what he means by that in the final trailer. We have the return of the second Death Star throne room. You saw the iconic shot between both Kylo and Rey in front of Palpatine's throne. That's another great example there. We saw the spaceships, right? All the different starships, I should say, in the background, like the X-Wings, the Y-Wings, the U-Wings, all of the fan favorites, right? The B-Wings that date back to Return of the Jedi. A lot of fans are seeing the similarities to the original trilogy that J.J. Abrams threw into this movie. Now, the thing about The Force Awakens, it really seems like that from this interview, it really came out that J.J. was playing it safe with The Force Awakens, and Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, even admitted to this a couple of months ago. I believe 3 months ago he actually said this, that they were really trying to make it as close as possible to the original trilogy to play things safe, because they weren't quite sure exactly where to go, with the Star Wars franchise. If they made it too different like the prequel trilogy was, they saw that as a risk, and so they wanted to make it as familiar to the original trilogy to the fans as possible. Hence why The Force Awakens has a lot of beat for beats of Star Wars: A New Hope. That's one of the big critiques of The Force Awakens, is the fact that it really is a beat for beat of Star Wars: A New Hope, almost in order. And that was my only problem as well, I will agree. The Force Awakens, to me, rather entertaining movie, a nice movie to start off to actually start off the sequel trilogy at the time. And what we were expecting to see for The Last Jedi made it even better. But once The Last Jedi came out and I had a lot of issues with the film, I don't know about you guys, but it kind of made me view The Force Awakens in a different way, where I kind of viewed it as to the point where, alright, now we get to Luke, and then we already see what Luke does in The Last Jedi, so it's kind of like, it kind of just destroys the hype and the excitement of it all. I don't know, that's just me. But when we go into Episode 9 now, the fact that Palpatine is the main focus apart from Luke Skywalker, you can see that J.J. Abrams likes to do this in his Star Wars films, at least the two that he has worked on. We have, of course, The Force Awakens, where the marketing was all about Luke Skywalker, finding Luke, and that mystery of Luke Skywalker, right? Like, who is he? All these different aspects. Even though he wasn't on the poster, he wasn't in no promotional art at all whatsoever, the mystery of Luke was the marketing of Episode 7. And now for Episode 9, the main marketing piece is Palpatine. Everybody wants to see this movie because of Palpatine for the most part. You know, I think if it weren't for Palpatine, if Palpatine was out of this movie, I feel like, and I really do genuinely believe, that if Palpatine was out of this movie and was not even a part of that trailer whatsoever, no dialogue at all, I think that the hype for this movie would be down. Because a lot of fans want to see a villain that is far more intimidating than that of Kylo Ren. We've seen Kylo Ren, he's a character that bounces back and forth between the dark and the light, so now we finally get a real sinister villain, though I still agree that we should have gotten a brand new one. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding from night.